If you want to make an impression at a Christmas party, skip the expensive clothing, don't worry about fancy jewelry, just make homemade marshmallows and take them. You are guaranteed to be the talk of the holiday party. They're super simple to make and very impressive. I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, so here's what you'll need to make homemade marshmallows. 3 envelopes of unflavored gelatin, 2/3 cup of corn syrup, and if you spray the inside of the measuring cup with some cooking spray before you put the corn syrup in, it'll make it much easier to get out. 1/2 cup of water, 2 cups of granulated sugar, about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, some vanilla extract, and then in this case, since we're making peppermint marshmallows, you'll want some peppermint extract and some red food coloring so you can make them look nice and red striped like a peppermint. Alright, so you've got your ingredients ready. Now you want to prepare your pan. If you've got one, I would recommend using the silicone baking pans. I don't like them for much. They're too flimsy for cakes, but they're perfect for marshmallows because they're super easy to push the marshmallows out when they're done. So take a silicone pan if you have one, and if not, a metal pan will work fine too. And just coat it lightly with the coated cooking spray and make sure you get the corners and all the sides. Alright, so the first step is to put your 1/2 cup water inside a bowl and then sprinkle all 3 packets of gelatin on top to let it dissolve. And let that sit for about 10 minutes. The next step is to add the corn syrup. We're going to grab a spatula and scrape that out. Get all the corn syrup out of there. Get the corn syrup, add the water, and then your sugar. And bring this mixture to a boil. As the mixture heats up, you'll want to stir it together so it doesn't burn. And you're looking for a really, really hard boil here. We're not quite there yet. Alright, so now we're at a rolling boil. This whole pan is boiling really hard, and you're going to want to cook it like this, boiling this hard for about a minute. No need for a candy thermometer, just cook it hard for a minute. To be really careful, this is really hot. This is not a really good cooking project to have with kids. Alright, so our time's up. We're going to pour this into the gelatin mixture now, and again, please be really careful. This is a super duper hot mixture. Alright, so now we are pouring this on top of the gelatin mixture. And we're going to add in the salt. And then you're going to whip this for about 12 minutes. It's a long time to be whipping, and if you have a stand mixer, your job will be so much easier. I just wanted to give you an idea of what this looks like. We've been whipping for about 2 minutes, and the mixture is starting to get a little bit wider and a little bit thicker, and we'll have more volume. So we're going to keep whisking. Alright, so now I've been whipping for about 5 minutes, and you can definitely start to see that this could someday maybe make marshmallows. We're not there yet, but it is starting to get there. Alright, so now we've been whipping these for about 8 minutes, and I know I said 12 minutes, but this is really, it's more of a feeling thing than an actual time. So what I do to check whether or not they're ready yet is I just dip my finger in and kind of put a little dollop on the counter and let it sit there for, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds. And if you touch it after that amount of time and you start to feel, oh yeah, that's drying out, that's setting up, then you know it's ready. I don't think this is quite ready yet because it's still taking quite a while to dry out. So I'm going to beat for about another 2 minutes. Alright, so now we've been beating for just over about 10 minutes, and I think it's about ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to splash in about a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And you could stop here, but I'm going to make these peppermint, so maybe about a teaspoon of peppermint extract. And just whisk that around a little bit longer. Alright, so now it's all whipped up. We've added the vanilla and the peppermint extract, and we're going to start pouring it into the pan. Now, I would recommend greasing a spatula, just spraying it real lightly with non-stick cooking spray before you start to do this. Just pour it in, and we're going to do the red stripe here after we pour in about half of it. So pour in half of it, and then take your food coloring and put just a few drops here and there, and then swirl it around. Think candy cane swirls. Get it all the way around. You're not going to have another chance to go back and do this. Okay, and then we've done that, so let's go back in and pour the rest on top. This stuff is good. These are the only kind of marshmallows Jeremy will eat. Like, he likes these as candy. The other kind, he's like, no way, only over a campfire. These are dessert. Whew. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing here on top. Just a few more drops of red food coloring. And obviously you can do any sort of color, any sort of flavor, and swirl it around. Swirl all the way around. Alright, that is it. Now we are going to let these set for a few hours at least. When they get firm on top, then we're going to cut them up. We'll dust them with powdered sugar and cornstarch, and then we will cut them up. But for now, you need to let them sit and firm up. Alright, so our marshmallows have been firming up for probably about 4 hours now, and as you can see, they're very firm, and they're definitely have taken the shape. They firmed up here. And so all we need to do now is to cut them into cubes and coat them in some powdered sugar and cornstarch, and they're ready to eat. So before, I recommend using a pair of kitchen scissors to cut. It's way easier than using a knife. So before you start cutting, you'll want to dip your kitchen scissors into this cornstarch powdered sugar mixture to kind of keep it, coat them, and to kind of keep them from sticking to the stickiness of the marshmallow. And I'm going to start cutting them. Alright, so it's time to start cutting. And I usually cut them just one row at a time. Just going to cut them all the way across like this. And they are sticky, but we're going to coat them so they won't stick this bad after we coat them. So you're going to cut across like that. Going to keep dredging your scissors in that flour mixture. I'm sorry, in that cornstarch and powdered sugar mixture. And do it like that. Now you're ready to toss them in the mixture. Take them out like this. Oh, it doesn't look good. Look at that. Yum. And then you just toss it around, just like that. There's your homemade marshmallow. These are awesome. Awesome. And homemade hot cocoa. They're yummy by themselves. And like I said earlier, if you want to impress somebody, make homemade marshmallows. Hope you enjoy them.